Left you on a cliffhanger there, didn't I? Welcome back to Shaddoll from Scratch, the Dragoon Cup. Last episode we went over the group stage and exactly how it went down from our perspective. Let's just say we were cutting it close to begin with. In this episode, we are going to go over how the table looked at the end of the group stage, show off our journey in the playoffs, as well as look at some of the highlights from other people who participated in the tourney. However, before we get started, there is an important thing that we need to go over. If you watched the last episode, you will have noticed that a certain name has been censored as well as mentioned in the description of the video, that name being the Gauss. It was made apparent during the post-tournament cleanup that the Gauss had not been following the tournament's rules and therefore was disqualified for unsportsmanlike behavior. On that note, you will still see his presence throughout the tournament, but he will be automatically assumed to be last place at the end of the tournament. With that out of the way, let's go through the standings of how it looked at the end of the group stage. Starting off with the lower half of the standings, we have Fanboy the Game Freak, Awkward Squeak, Copperblade, Rune, Absadoodle, Jovifriend, End of Battleface, and Lardax. Unfortunately, the 10th, 9th, and 8th place were a shared tie, beaten only by the fact that whoever finished 8th defeated a higher ranked opponent. It was incredibly close at the end of the day, but I can't really say much more than well played to anyone. You fought bravely, and there was in fact a consolation prize given out during the tournament for one of these fellow bottom 8s. Congratulations to Absadoodle, you've earned yourself one card from the binder and it will be sent along with the other prizings. Thanks to all of you for participating, but unfortunately your journey in the Dragoon Cup ends here. Now for the top tier, we find myself at 8th place, barely making the cut, followed by Lamoa, Friendogestar, the Omega Condors, Sui, Barka, King Diabetes, and the Gauss. This is going to be our playoff crew heading into the final matches of the Dragoon Cup. Now, I managed to get in barely. I won out by having defeated King Diabetes in round number 2. If I had lost that match and won any other match available, I would have not made it in. Regardless of that, I can officially say that the Shaddoll from Scratch deck has made it to top 8, but our opponent in our first playoff round is against the top tier, meaning we're playing the Gauss. I'm going to quickly go over how that duel went, and we will see just how the playoffs turned out for us. And just like that, the dream's over. Eliminated in the quarterfinals to the top point scorer of the group stage, the Shaddoll from Scratch dream is dead. The deck ends at a mighty 69 wins, 46 losses, and 10 buys or draws. To be perfectly honest with you, I didn't even expect to get to the quarterfinals. I expected to be eliminated way earlier, and the only reason I managed to get that far was pure, unadulterated luck. But on the other hand, I am a bit sad to see the deck basically be dead now. Like, this is the moment where the deck is no longer going to be played. It's being put down. It's been an absolute blast to pilot this deck throughout this series, and it's brought me back into the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! In a way that I never expected I'd be able to. I've never played it on any other level than kitchen table before. Being able to get a deck that is decently competitive at least and can manage to break some outstanding boards has been a blast. Also, could I really ask for anything better than ending with 69 wins? 69 wins. Like, this shit can't write itself. There's no point in making a season 2 now. I can never beat putting the deck down with 69 wins. I'm sorry. But, yeah, we've been eliminated. So, for the rest of this episode, we are going to go over the rest of the playoff stage, showing you the highlights of how that went down. And for the last episode, we're going to commentate over the finals that we will not see with our own eyes. Now, on the other hand, let's get straight back into the gospel of things and go through the rest of the quarterfinals really quickly. Let me show you the table. As with the quarterfinals, we took a 2-0 defeat against the Gauss, and as well in our group we had Zui against the Omega Condor, where Zui just barely manages to clutch out a 2-1 victory, putting him in the semifinals. In Group B, we had King Diabetes and Lamoa, where Lamoa manages to clutch game number 3 out against King Diabetes, and then for the last match we had Barkla as well as Fred Onchastar, or Friend I'm just gonna call it, where Bark manages to take a 2-0 victory, putting them in the semifinals. If you would like to watch these matches, don't worry. After episode 30 has been released of Shaddoll from Scratch, there will be one extra episode, which is a marathon of the entire tournament, with every single match put into the same video. If you would like to check that out, there will be a link in the description of both episode 28, 29, and 30, should you want to check it out. But what we're gonna focus on for this video is the semifinals. With these semifinals, we have now changed the format to a best of 5 to really hammer down the point that this is business. We're going to cut straight into the match between the Gauss and Zui first, and I hope you enjoy. With that semi-final out of the way, Zui unfortunately gets knocked down to the bronze match and the Gauss is brought to finals. Now, for the smart ones among you, you may realize now that, wait a minute, wasn't he disqualified? He was. So this means that the second semi-final is actually the final, because, you know, both of them would advance in place of anyone else. While this is an unfortunate turn of events for the structure of the show, I'm going to deem it as such. This means that for the next episode, we're going to have two separate matches. We are going to show off the official final, which is going to be the second semi-final, as well as the bronze match. The bronze match is going to have its spot filled by me going up against Zui with the second bronze spot. However, I will not be able to take third place. Of course, this match will have no stakes added because, you know, I can't get third place, so I can't be officially deemed a winner. Zui will get his prizes regardless, but we're throwing it in there for the fun of it because, you know what, he deserves a proper bronze match. But more importantly, who's going to become the Dragoon Cup champion? You best be ready to turn in next week, where sealed only Yu-Gi-Oh!, aka Shaddoll from Scratch, comes to an end. I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you like this content, remember to click the like button down below, subscribe to see the final episode where it all comes to a close, and as always, stay safe out there.